Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. So, we completed equivalent production. You know how to value WIP now. Now, हम लोग ने एक reverse question भी solve कर लिया. So, you know how to handle reverse questions also now. Just be stick to the format. Just be stick to the format and just follow the reverse direction. Now, the next type that I'm discussing is again a very important one. And that is called inter-process profit. And that is called inter-process profit. Now, what do you mean by inter-process profit? See, generally, whatever process one manager produces, it gets transferred to the next process at cost. क्योंकि कंपनी सेम है, उसी कंपनी के अंदर सेम मैन्युफैक्चरर हैज टू प्रोसेसेस. So whether it is process 1 or it is process 2, ultimately both are forming part of the same organization. तो जनरली अब तक हम लोग ने जो देखा है उसमें एक ही चीज हमने देखी, that output of first process is transferred to the second process at cost. But then sometimes in order to evaluate the performance of the manager, process manager, manager is allowed to transfer the output at selling price. मतलब अगर वो चाहे तो सेलिंग प्राइस ऐड कर सकता है, सो दैट प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी विल बी जनरेटेड. तो जैसे प्रोसेस 1 मैनेजर सोचता है कि 20% ऑन कॉस्ट प्रॉफिट होगा, and the selling price, of course we will not call it as a selling price, the transfer price will be 120. तो प्रोसेस 2 मैनेजर के लिए अब इनपुट 100 वाला नहीं होगा, 120 वाला होगा. Understand one thing, I produce something for 5,000, I transfer it to you for 6,000. For you the cost will be 6,000 only. आपको तो कभी पता नहीं चलेगा कि मेरे लिए कॉस्ट 5,000 आया ना. So, process 1 manager will be allowed to charge some profit. अब आप सोच रहे होंगे कि अगर some profit is allowed to be charged, charging only 20%, 100% प्रॉफिट चार्ज करके भेज दे, क्या कर लेगा प्रोसेस 2 मैनेजर? अब समझो अच्छी तरह से, this is a simple game. Process 2 manager is allowed to buy the input from the open market at the same time. So that means he has a bargaining power. मार्केट में अगर इनपुट 115 में मिल रहा है, मार्केट में अगर इनपुट 115 में मिल रहा है, तो प्रोसेस 2 मैनेजर विल टेल प्रोसेस 1 मैनेजर, देख भाई, वॉट एवर यू आर ट्रांसफरिंग टू मी फॉर 120 रुपीज, whatever you are transferring to me for 120 rupees, बाहर मेरे को 115 में मिल रहा है, then why should I pay you 120 and keep my cost as 120? I will start buying the material from the open market. लेकिन अगर प्रोसेस 2 मैनेजर अपना इनपुट बाहर से खरीदना शुरू कर दे, तो प्रोसेस 1 की तो जरूरत ही नहीं है कंपनी को. तो प्रोसेस 1 मैनेजर बोलता है नहीं 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 नहीं, ऐसा मत कर भाई, पेट पे लात मत मार, तू ले ले 115 में. अब अगर 115 में मटेरियल ट्रांसफर करना है तो प्रॉफिट मेंटेन करने के चक्कर में प्रोसेस 1 मैनेजर को कॉस्ट तो कम करनी ही पड़ेगी. फ्रॉम 100 कॉस्ट विल बी ब्रॉट डाउन टू 95. फ्रॉम 100 कॉस्ट विल बी ब्रॉट डाउन टू 95. जस्ट इमेजिन, ये प्रेशर अगर आप हर एक प्रोसेस पे क्रिएट करते हो, ये प्रेशर अगर आप हर एक प्रोसेस पे क्रिएट करते हो, सारे प्रोसेस मैनेजर अपने अपनी कॉस्ट कम करेंगे, तो अल्टीमेटली हु इज द बेनिफिशियरी? कंपनी. तो बेसिकली इंटरनल प्रेशर क्रिएट करने के लिए we follow this concept called as inter-process profit. We follow this concept called as inter-process profit, where output of one process becomes input of the second process at transfer price. Output of one process becomes input of the second process at transfer price. Output of one process becomes input of the second process at transfer. जो माल 100 में बना है 115 में ट्रांसफर हो रहा है, तो कॉस्ट फॉर प्रोसेस 2 विल बी 115, कॉस्ट फॉर प्रोसेस 1 विल बी 100। लेकिन कंपनी के पर्सपेक्टिव से अगर सोचोगे तो कंपनी को अभी भी कॉस्ट तो 100 रुपया ही है। ये जो 15 रुपए का प्रॉफिट जनरेट हो रहा है प्रोसेस 1 का, दिस इज नॉट अ एक्चुअल प्रॉफिट रियलाइज्ड बाय द कंपनी, ये तो इंटरनल प्रॉफिट है ना। तो प्रोसेस 1 मैनेजर ने 15 रुपया ज्यादा कमाया, ठीक है, बट प्रोसेस 2 मैनेजर ने 15 रुपया ज्यादा दिया। सो इवन इफ दैट एग्जिस्ट्स प्रॉफिट ऑफ 15, दैट इज नॉट अ प्रॉफिट रियलाइज बाय द कंपनी। कंपनी अपना प्रॉफिट तब रियलाइज करेगी जब ये माल आउटसाइडर को बेचा जाएगा, व्हेनेवर देयर इज सेल्स। अब हमको करना क्या है, देखो सिंपल है। whenever we had prepared process account, what was the objective of preparing process account? हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव एकदम सिंपल था, we wanted to know cost of each process. We wanted to know cost of each, हमको हर एक प्रोसेस की कॉस्ट चाहिए थी। हमको हर एक प्रोसेस की कॉस्ट चाहिए थी, हमने प्रोसेस अकाउंट बना लिया, हर एक प्रोसेस की कॉस्ट भी हमने ढूंढ ली। दैट वाज द ओनली ऑब्जेक्टिव। That was the only objective. अब हम लोग जो करने जा रहे हैं इसमें प्रोसेस मैनेजर का कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है। अब हम लोग जो करने जा रहे हैं दैट विल बी डन फ्रॉम कंपनीज पर्सपेक्टिव। अगर आपके पास दो प्रोसेसेस है तो कंपनी विल प्रिपेयर प्रोसेस अकाउंट जस्ट टू कीप अ ट्रैक। Company will prepare process account just to keep a track of how output was produced in one process, how profit was charged, and at what price it was transferred to the next process. मतलब इस पूरे ट्रांजैक्शन में याद रखिएगा, कंपनी इज नॉट गोइंग टू गेट एनी प्रॉफिट इन दिस होल ट्रांजैक्शन। तो नेचुरली व्हेन वी आर डूइंग दिस, अपना ऑब्जेक्टिव एकदम साफ है। दिस इज नॉट डन to know the cost of the process or cost of the output after the process. It is done to know the profitability of each process account so that you can easily evaluate performance of each and every manager. तो अभी तक हम लोग जो अकाउंट्स बनाते थे प्रोसेस 1 अकाउंट बनाया, प्रोसेस 2 अकाउंट बनाया, दैट वाज ऑलवेज प्रिपेयर्ड फ्रॉम द पर्टिकुलर प्रोसेस मैनेजर्स पर्सपेक्टिव। अब तक हम लोग जो बना रहे थे दैट वाज फ्रॉम द मैनेजर्स पर्सपेक्टिव, लेकिन अभी जो करेंगे दैट विल बी फ्रॉम द कंपनीज पर्सपेक्टिव। तो कंपनी ये जानना चाहती है कि हाउ मच वाज द ओरिजिनल कॉस्ट ऑफ द आउटपुट how much was the profit involved and how much was the cost to the process. So cost column will always be cost for the company. Profit column will have only profit, and amount column will be cost for the process. मेरी बात ध्यान से सुनिए. अगर मैंने कोई आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस किया 100 रुपए में, so cost for the company is also 100, cost for process one manager is also 100. Cost for the company is also 100, cost for the process manager is also 100. उसने 20 रुपए प्रॉफिट चार्ज किया, ट्रांसफर प्राइस बिकम्स 120. सेलिंग प्राइस तो कह नहीं सकते, वी आर नॉट सेलिंग इट टू एन आउटसाइडर, वी आर ट्रांसफरिंग इट टू द नेक्स्ट प्रोसेस एट सेलिंग प्राइस. तो सेलिंग प्राइस नहीं कह पाएंगे, ट्रांसफर प्राइस कहेंगे. तो आपका आउटपुट अब इनपुट बनेगा अगले प्रोसेस में. तो कॉस्ट फॉर द कंपनी विल रिमेन सेम, उसमें 20 रुपए का प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व होगा, तो कॉस्ट फॉर द प्रोसेस विल बी 120. एज आई टोल्ड यू, I produce something, and if I transfer it to you at 5,000, you will never come to know the original cost of the product. So for you, the cost will become 5,000 only. So cost column is a cost for the company. Amount column is cost for the process. Cost column is a cost for the company and amount column is a cost for the process. मतलब कंपनी अभी भी जानती है कि आपने जो भी 120 में ट्रांसफर किया है उसकी कॉस्ट 120 है ही नहीं. देयर इज नो प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व एक्चुअली. ओरिजिनल कॉस्ट इज स्टिल 100 ऑफ कोर्स, बट फॉर प्रोसेस 2 मैनेजर इट इज गेटिंग ट्रांसफर्ड एट 120. तो प्रोसेस 2 मैनेजर के लिए कॉस्ट विल रिमेन 120. अभी आपको समझ में आया? सो बेसिकली कॉस्ट कॉलम विल बी कॉस्ट फॉर द कंपनी. Amount column will be cost for the process. Cost column will be cost for the company. Amount column will be cost for the process. Cost column में कभी भी किसी भी सिचुएशन में प्रॉफिट नहीं आ सकता. So have you guys understood the format? हर बार जब इंटर प्रोसेस प्रॉफिट आएगा आपको यही फॉर्मेट यूज करना है. आपको समझ में आया? सो लेट्स गो फॉर क्वेश्चन नंबर 5. Let's go for question number 5. The genre of this is inter-process profit. A Limited produces product X, which passes through 2 processes before it is completed and transferred to finished stock. So we have 2 processes, 1 and 2. 1 का output will become input of 2. 2 का output बनेगा finished goods and finished goods is transferred to finished stock. The following data relate to October 20X4. Process 1, Process 2 and finished stock. 3 चीजें हैं मेरे पास. प्रोसेस 1 का डेटा देखो, ओपनिंग स्टॉक दिया है, मटेरियल दिया है, डायरेक्ट वेजेस दिया है, फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स दिया है, क्लोजिंग स्टॉक दिया है. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, इंटर प्रोसेस प्रॉफिट इंक्लूडेड इन ओपनिंग स्टॉक. अब इंटर प्रोसेस प्रॉफिट तो होगा ना यार. जैसा मैंने कहा आपको, 100 रुपए का माल 20 रुपए प्रॉफिट ऐड करके प्रोसेस 1 मैनेजर ने प्रोसेस 2 में ट्रांसफर कर दिया 120 में. प्रोसेस 1 ने 100 रुपए का माल 20 रुपए प्रॉफिट ऐड करके ट्रांसफर कर दिया 120 में. तो प्रोसेस 2 मैनेजर के लिए कॉस्ट इज 120. अब चलो इसमें से अगर 60% स्टॉक आपने बेच दिया तो 40% तो बचेगा, यानी कि 48 का तो क्लोजिंग स्टॉक बचेगा आपका. 60% बेच दिया तो 40% आपका क्लोजिंग स्टॉक बचेगा. अगर 120 में प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व है तो 48 में भी तो प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व होगा. इसीलिए हमेशा याद रखना, इंटर प्रोसेस प्रॉफिट में स्टॉक में भी प्रॉफिट होता है, लेकिन प्रोसेस 1 में यह चीज आपको नहीं मिलेगी, क्योंकि प्रोसेस 1 इज द फर्स्ट प्रोसेस. यहां पे कुछ भी सेलिंग प्राइस पे या ट्रांसफर प्राइस पे इनपुट नहीं हुआ है तो प्रोसेस 1 विल बी द फर्स्ट प्रोसेस टू चार्ज प्रॉफिट। उसके खुद के कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर में प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व नहीं होगा। लेकिन प्रोसेस 2 में देखो 9,000 का ओपनिंग स्टॉक है, उसमें 1500 का प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व है। फिनिश स्टॉक में 22,500 का ओपनिंग स्टॉक है, उसमें 8250 का प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व है। तो प्रॉफिट की इन्वॉल्वमेंट सेकेंड प्रोसेस से स्टार्ट होगी। इज दैट क्लियर? नाउ आउटपुट ऑफ प्रोसेस 1 इज ट्रांसफर टू प्रोसेस 2 एट 25% on transfer price. Transfer price means selling price, so it is 25% on transfer price, मतलब 25% on selling price। 25% on transfer price मतलब 25% on selling price मतलब 25 upon 100, 1 upon 4 on transfer price। 25% मतलब 25 upon 100, so 1/4 on transfer price, 1/4 on selling price it is। ये तो आपको पता ही होगा। 1/4 on selling price is 1/3 on cost। I hope you guys are aware of this। अब इसको रट्टा मारने की जरूरत नहीं है, लॉजिकल है एकदम। सुनो, 1/4 on sales का मतलब whenever your sales is 4, profit is 1। Whenever your sales is 4, profit is 1, तो प्रॉफिट 1 ही रहेगा। लेकिन सेल्स अगर 4 है, प्रॉफिट अगर 1 है, तो कॉस्ट होती है 3 रुपया। तो 1/4 on sales is always 1/3 on cost। 9 upon 31 on cost मतलब 31 रुपीज की कॉस्ट में 9 रुपए का प्रॉफिट होता है। अब 31 रुपीज के कॉस्ट में 9 रुपए का प्रॉफिट होता है, मतलब सेल्स तो आपका 40 रुपीज होगा और प्रॉफिट रहेगा 9। न्यूमरेटर सेम रहता है, 1 सेम नहीं रखने का। 4 upon 41 ऑन सेल्स, यानी कि 41 के सेल्स में 4 रुपए का प्रॉफिट होता है, तो कॉस्ट आपकी होगी 37 ऑन कॉस्ट। आई होप लॉजिकली क्लियर है सब कुछ, रट्टा नहीं मारने का लाइफ में। तो प्रोसेस 1 का आउटपुट 2 में जाता है, प्रोसेस 1 का आउटपुट 2 में जाता है, प्रोसेस 1 का आउटपुट 2 में जाता है एट 25% प्रॉफिट ऑन सेलिंग प्राइस। 25% प्रॉफिट ऑन सेलिंग प्राइस इज 1/4 ऑन सेलिंग प्राइस। 1/4 ऑन सेलिंग प्राइस का मतलब सेल्स 4, प्रॉफिट 1, तो नेचुरली कॉस्ट इज 3, सो इट इज 1/3 ऑन कॉस्ट। आउटपुट ऑफ प्रोसेस 2 is transferred to finished stock at 20% profit on transfer price। 20% on transfer price मतलब 20 upon 100, 1/5 on transfer price। 1/5 on transfer price का मतलब सेल्स अगर 5 है, प्रॉफिट 1 होगा, तो कॉस्ट होगी 4, सो 1/4 on cost। आई होप दिस इज क्लियर। ग्रेट। Finished stock is valued at, stock in the process is valued at prime cost। Process stock will be valued at prime cost and finished stock is valued at the price at which it is received from process 2। Stock in the process is valued at prime cost, but finished stock is valued at the price at which it is received from process 2। Sales during the period is 1,40,000 and prepare process cost account and finished goods account showing profit element at each stage। Also calculate profit realized and value of stock for balance sheet purpose। Okay, जैसा मैंने कहा था आपको, फॉर्मेट में थोड़ा चेंज है। We are not interested in knowing cost per unit. We are not interested in knowing cost of the output. We are mainly interested in knowing how much is the profitability of each and every manager। So point number 1, earlier your process 1 was prepared by process 1 manager। We were thinking from the perspective of process 1 manager, but now we will start thinking from company's perspective। This is a complete overview, whether it is process 1, whether it is process 2, whether it is finished stock, all the 3 accounts will be prepared by the company only। हमको process manager से कोई लेना देना नहीं है, समझा? So these accounts will be maintained by the company। Kindly keep the format ready। Okay, now Question has already told you that stock in the process are to be valued at prime cost. That means we should need prime cost. We should find out prime cost. And if you want to find out prime cost, you will have to follow the formula of cost, format of cost sheet. So raw material will be recorded on the first line, direct labor will be recorded on the second. So tell me how much is the material figure and labor figure for process 1?
15,000.
You have material of rupees 15,000 and 11,200 is your labor charge. Now your expense cannot have any profit involved. So whether it is company or whether it is process 1 manager, for both of them, cost will remain same. So now when you get the total is 26,200, which is your prime cost. This is your prime cost, and they are clearly saying that stock in the process is valued at prime cost. They are clearly saying that stock in the process is valued at prime cost. Barabar? Don't write. Closing stock is something that needs to be valued. Closing stock is something that needs to be valued. How much is the closing stock of raw material? Closing stock of finished goods?
3,700.
Now, this needs to be valued at prime cost. Think and answer. Does your prime cost include any profit? Does your prime cost include any profit? The answer is no. If your prime cost does not include any profit, naturally your stock will not have any profit. So, ding, 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 ding. If you show the cross multiplication, this will also be 0. That means original cost for the company and original cost for the process, both are same. I told you, no? Your first process cannot have a profit. Your first process cannot have profit because it is the first process which will start charging profit to the other process managers. So your closing stock doesn't have any profit. Suppose there was a profit of 5,000 here. So 26,200 में there is profit of 5,000. How much is the profit in 3,700? We would have done the cross multiplication. We would have got the figure. We would have written the figure here in profits and we would have subtracted that. लेकिन कोई profit नहीं है तो इधर भी 0 profit आएगा. And of course, you have your opening stock of what? How much is your opening stock of the first process?
7,000.
Does it include any profit? Inter-process profit is not included in the first process. So original cost will remain 7,500 only. Since my stock is to be valued at prime cost, it is valued immediately after prime cost. You can show this cross multiplication like this. There is no need to go for any note. Now get the total.
30,000.
So cost for the company and cost for the process will be 30,000. I am supposed to add one more expense. $10,500. I'm supposed to add one more expense, 10,500. Now I have got this 40,500. Right, na? Factory overhead 10,500 here, na? Yeah. So I have got total cost now. This is total cost for the process and I need to charge some profit before I transfer it to the next process. Now question has clearly told us the profit percentage. Please see the question. How much is the profit? साढ़े नौ, पौने दस भी चलेगा. How much is the profit? 1/3 on cost. Here 40,500 is a cost, 1/3 of it is 13,500, and that is not a cost, that is profit. So that must be recorded in profit column only. Now, as I told you, your cost column cannot have any profit involved. So 13,500 will be the total profit. Now that shows that your output costing rupees 14 for rupees 40,500 is getting transferred at 54,000. Your output of 40,500 is getting transferred at 54,000. So we can write here by output transferred to process 2, 40,500, 13,500, 54,000. 40,500, 13,500, 54,000. I guess you understood this part. So you can write after this 25% of transfer price is 1/4 on transfer price is equal to 1/3 on cost. That's the end of your process 1. Let me know if you have any doubt. Let me know if you have any doubt. No? Great. Let's get started with process 2. Are you ready with the format of process 2? First thing first, you will have input from process 1. So 40,500 is getting transferred at 54,000. So cost for the process is 54,000. But company तो जानती है ना ओरिजिनल औकात क्या है. Do you think company has earned profit of 13,500? No, it is a profit shown by process 1 manager to evaluate, that can be used to evaluate his efficiency. उसका efficiency evaluate करने के काम आएगा, but actually देखा जाए तो company still knows that the original cost is 40,500 only. But since it is transferred at 54,000 to process 2 manager, for process 2 manager, cost will no longer be this. He does not even know about this. Process 2 manager को तो 40,500 के बारे में पता भी नहीं होगा. I hope you are understanding this. It's like I'm process 1 manager. I produce something for 40,500, but I'm transferring it to you at 54,000. आपको कहां से पता चलेगा? तो आपके लिए कॉस्ट तो 54,000 होगी, right? Now you have another material and labor cost apart from the main raw material input. Tell me how much is material cost? Yes?
750.
अब एक्सपेंस में तो प्रॉफिट है नहीं. And how much is the labor figure? 11,250. Is this part clear? So 67,500, 13,500, 81,000 is your prime cost. Is this part clear? Stop writing now. We know that stock is to be valued at prime cost. Tell me, how much is the closing stock? 4,000. Your closing stock is 4,500, which needs to be valued at prime cost. Am I right? Kindly concentrate here. How much is your prime cost? 81,000. 81,000 में कितना प्रॉफिट इंक्लूडेड है? 13,500. अरे तो 81,000 में 13,500 प्रॉफिट इंक्लूडेड है, तो 4,500 में भी कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉफिट इंक्लूडेड होगा. सो टिंग 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 टिंग. How much is the profit involved? 750. So how much is the original cost for the company? 3,750. You understood this? We couldn't do this because there was no profit involved in the last process. Last process में प्रॉफिट था ही नहीं, तो हम लोग ने जब क्रॉस मल्टीप्लिकेशन किया, टिंग 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 टिंग, तो हमको प्रॉफिट तो मिला ही नहीं क्योंकि प्रॉफिट था ही नहीं. लेकिन यहां पे प्रॉफिट है. ये बात समझ में आई? हाउ मच इज योर ओपनिंग स्टॉक? 9,000 and they have already given you profit involved. तो ये रिवर्स में जा रहे हैं हम लोग. Now my question to you is, why are we not writing prime cost on the opening stock on the first line? इंस्टीट्यूट के काफी सॉल्यूशंस में ओपनिंग स्टॉक फर्स्ट लाइन पे लिखा है. कभी मत करना, बिकॉज ओपनिंग स्टॉक में हैव डिफरेंट प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी. मेरी बात को ध्यान से सुनो. मुझे बोला गया है माय क्लोजिंग स्टॉक इज वैल्यूड एट प्राइम कॉस्ट, दैट मींस इट हैज टू बी प्राइम कॉस्ट ऑफ द करंट ईयर. फीफो मेथड फॉलो करते हो आप, तो ओपनिंग स्टॉक तो एंड तक बचेगा नहीं. दैट मींस एंड में जो भी बचा है वो करंट ईयर के प्रोडक्शन में से बचा है, और अगर वो करंट ईयर के प्रोडक्शन में से बचा है तो वो 81,000 में से बचा है, नॉट फ्रॉम 9,000. तो इफ माय क्लोजिंग स्टॉक इज टू बी वैल्यूड एट प्राइम कॉस्ट, इट शुड बी प्योर शुद्ध प्राइम कॉस्ट ऑफ द करंट ईयर. और करंट ईयर की प्राइम कॉस्ट मतलब, करंट ईयर की प्राइम कॉस्ट का मतलब, आई शुड नॉट इंक्लूड ओपनिंग स्टॉक ऑन द टॉप. वरना कॉस्ट शीट भी आपकी ओपनिंग स्टॉक और फिनिश गुड से स्टार्ट होती ना. आप अपनी कॉस्ट शीट स्टार्ट करते हो रॉ मटेरियल कंज्यूम ऑफ द करंट ईयर, डायरेक्ट वेजेस ऑफ द करंट ईयर, डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस ऑफ द करंट ईयर, फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड ऑफ द करंट ईयर, क्वालिटी कंट्रोल, R&D, admin related to production, primary packing, minus sale of scrap, everything of the current year. Then you get cost of production of the current year, and then you show opening closing stock of finished goods. You don't write opening stock of finished goods on the first line, क्योंकि कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन मुझे इस साल का चाहिए, वैसे ही यहां पे प्राइम कॉस्ट भी मुझे इस साल की चाहिए. इस साल के प्राइम कॉस्ट पे इस साल का स्टॉक वैल्यू होगा. तो आई शुड नॉट इंक्लूड ओपनिंग स्टॉक इन द कैलकुलेशन. प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी सेम है तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगा, लेकिन अगर प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी अलग हुई तो प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है. तो कभी भी ये सॉल्यूशन आपको ओपनिंग स्टॉक से स्टार्ट नहीं करना है. लेकिन अगर क्वेश्चन में वेटेड एवरेज मेथड बोली तो ओपनिंग स्टॉक विल बी रिटन ऑन द फर्स्ट लाइन, देन दीज 3 आइटम्स विल बी रिकॉर्डेड, और आपको एक टोटल मिलेगी 90,000 की प्राइम कॉस्ट. दैट विल बी ओपनिंग प्लस करंट, which is the base for weighted average. In that case, I would have gone for 90,000 as the total. लेकिन जब तक वेटेड एवरेज नहीं बोला जाए ओपनिंग स्टॉक फर्स्ट लाइन पे नहीं आना चाहिए. आई होप दिस पार्ट इज क्रिस्टल क्लियर.
Yes, sir.
ये बाद में तुम लोग को सॉल्यूशन दिखेंगे आजू बाजू में, कंफ्यूजन नहीं चाहिए मुझे. बोलिए आगे. 71 250 14,000 250 85 500. इसमें ऐड होगा फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स. हाउ मच इज फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स गिवन? 4,500. Am I right? If your factory overhead is given to be 4,500, 75 75 0 14 250 and 90,000. Is this part clear? कितना प्रॉफिट बोला है? 20% ऑफ ट्रांसफर प्राइस, यानी कि 1/5 ऑन ट्रांसफर प्राइस, यानी कि 1/4 ऑन कॉस्ट. सो एक बात बताओ, 1/4 ऑन कॉस्ट प्रॉफिट चार्ज करना है. मेरे पास दो कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर पड़े, वन इज 75 750 एंड द अदर वन इज 90. 75 750 is a cost for the company, 90,000 is a cost for the process. तो मुझे अगर 1/4 अप्लाई करना है तो किसमें अप्लाई करूं? जस्ट थिंक, हु इज चार्जिंग प्रॉफिट, कंपनी और प्रोसेस मैनेजर?
Process and
So if the process manager is charging the profit, it has to be on the basis of cost to the process manager only.
yes,
I hope you are logically clear with it. आप अगर प्रॉफिट चार्ज कर रहे हो तो आपके कॉस्ट पे चार्ज करोगे ना, कंपनी को प्रॉफिट थोड़ी चार्ज कर रही है, तो कंपनी की कॉस्ट मैटर ही नहीं करती. आप हैव यू क्लियरली अंडरस्टूड दिस?
yes, sir.
सो एन आउटपुट जिसका ओरिजिनल कॉस्ट है 75 750, is transferred at 112 500. So 75 750 includes profit of 36 750 and it is 112 500 by output transferred to finished stock. That should be your process 2. That should be your process 2. Have a glance on this and tell me. कोई डाउट है तो बोलिए. ये क्लियर है? So write down a note. I hope you have written this profitability also. So write down a note after this. Since profit is to be charged, 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 by process 2 manager, Since profit is to be charged by process 2 manager, since profit is to be charged by process 2 manager, cost to process 2 manager must be considered. Cost to the process 2 manager must be considered and not cost for the company. And not cost for the company. Cost to process 2 manager must be considered and not cost for the company. That is rupees 90,000. That is rupees 90,000. That is rupees 90,000. I hope this is clear. Write one more note. In the absence of information, FIFO method is assumed to be followed. In the absence of information, FIFO method is assumed to be followed. In the absence of information, FIFO method is assumed to be followed. And therefore, closing stock must be valued at current year's cost. Closing stock must be valued at current year's cost. And therefore, in order to get prime cost of the current year, in order to get prime cost of the current year, we have not started with opening stock. We have not started with opening stock. We have not started with opening stock on the first line. We have not started with opening stock on the first line. As opening stock may have different profitability. As opening stock may have different profitability. As opening stock may have different profitability. Full stop. If WAM is followed, weighted average method, if WAM is followed, Opening stock should also be considered. Opening stock should also be considered. Opening stock should also be considered for valuation. For valuation. And in that case, opening stock must be recorded on the first line. Opening stock must be recorded on the first line and will be considered and will be considered as a part of stock valuation and will be considered as a part of stock valuation. I hope this is crystal clear. I have solved FIFO because in the absence of information, we always go for FIFO. But I have also discussed what if the question asks you to go for weighted average method. Samjha? I hope things are crystal clear now. Now your next account asked is trading account. Of course, it is called as finished stock. Basically, I told you in the initial stage, process is a manufacturing account. Process account is a manufacturing account. But finished stock account will be a trading account. And being trading account, it will always begin with opening stock. So 22,500 is the opening stock, 8,250 is the profit involved, 14,250. 22,500 is the value which includes profit of 8,250, मतलब कंपनी के लिए कॉस्ट 14,250. और इसमें क्या क्या आ रहा है? स्टॉक ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम प्रोसेस 2. Original cost is 75,750. It involves profit of 36,750. And 112,500 will be the total cost. And 112,500 will be the total cost. इसका मतलब ये आपके पास पहले से था, ये आपने इस साल प्रोड्यूस किया. सो गाइज, टेक्निकली यू हैव फिनिश गुड्स वर्थ और अदर फिनिश गुड्स कॉस्टिंग 90,000, जिसमें ऑलरेडी 45,000 का प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व है. And the overall cost of the product is 1,35,000. अब मुझे क्लोजिंग स्टॉक को वैल्यू करना है. अब मुझे क्लोजिंग स्टॉक को वैल्यू करना है गाइस. माय क्लोजिंग स्टॉक वैल्यू इज 11,250. My closing stock value is 11,250. If my closing stock value is 11,250, definitely it must be including some profit. Definitely it must be including some profit. And they have clearly said it is to be valued at prime cost. Prime cost तो process में होगा बाड़ा. Prime cost तो process में होगा. For finished goods, they have clearly said finished stock is valued at the price at which it is received from process 2. जिस प्राइस पे प्रोसेस 2 से मिला है उसी प्राइस पे वैल्यू होगा. सो 112,500 आपको मिला है प्रोसेस 2 से. उसमें प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व है 36,750. तो 11,500 includes 36,750. 11,250, how much? Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. How much are you getting?
3675.
You don't even need calci basically. It is exactly 10%. Still, if you want, you can always use. आपकी मर्जी. Prime cost is possible only where the production is going on. Prime cost is possible only if there is a production going on. This is simply maintaining the stock. तो बॉस 90,000 के स्टॉक में से 7575 का स्टॉक बचा है. इसका मतलब 82,425 का स्टॉक बेचा हमने. दिस इज कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड सोल्ड. दिस इज टोटल आई हैड 14,250. मेरे पास 14,250 का स्टॉक था. मैंने 75,750 प्रोड्यूस किया. मतलब मेरे पास टोटल 90,000 का स्टॉक था जो मैं बेच सकता था. लेकिन 7575 अब भी मेरे पास है. दैट मीन्स आई मस्ट हैव सोल्ड 82,425. 41,325 का प्रॉफिट आता है तो 123,750. 123,750 is the cost of goods sold from the finished stock perspective. This is cost of goods sold from the finished stock perspective. बोलिए, यहाँ तक क्लियर है? Understand the presentation and tell me, are you guys clear with it?
Yes, sir.
Yo. Now, I guess they have given you sales as well. Now, naturally, sales will be on the credit side. 1,40,000. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. अब ध्यान से सुनो. I need to close this. यहाँ तक समझा है ना clearly?
Yes.
Now your cost column cannot have any profit involved. So it will always be at cost because ultimately it is cost for the company. Ultimately it is cost for the company. So I am tallying it. तो मुझे यहाँ पे बैलेंसिंग फिगर मिलेगी 82,425 which is my cost of goods sold. I have sold goods costing 82,425 for 1,40,000. So 57,575 is my profit inward. Can you check this? Just get it verified. If my profit is 57,575, so far I have registered only 41,325. That means balance 16,250 must have got generated in finished stock account. 57,575 is the overall profit. Out of that, 41,325 is already generated. That means 16,250 must have got generated in the current account. Yes or no? Guys, please keep videos on. Now this is dash. This is 16,250. So naturally, the total will be 16,250 only for you. और अब जब टोटल करोगे तो योर लास्ट कॉलम विल टैली एट 1,40,000. समझ में आया? नाउ प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, आई विल गिव यू स्टेप्स. आफ्टर दैट यू कैन कॉपी दिस. डोंट राइट एनीथिंग. दिस वॉज माई स्टेप 1. I am writing step 1 at both. That means I am tallying it. This was my step 1. That gives me step 2, cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold gives me step 3, profit. So I went for step 4 here. I'm tallying profit. I realized profit of the current account, finished stock account. This is step 6. And at step number 7, my account tallies. Kindly copy this now. This is only for your reference. Exam mein, even if you don't write, that's absolutely fine. Done?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. So that was your inter-process profit wala first part. समझ में आ रहा है? What else they have asked? Acha, have you understood this? This will be prepared by the company, not by process managers. Process managers will prepare respective process accounts to know the cost per unit. This will be done by the company just to see how much is the profitability of each and every manager, so they can tight their screws and they can actually make them save cost in order to, increase profitability. अब हमको और भी कुछ पूछा है इसमें. What else we have been asked for? We are supposed to find out profit realized. Have you realized what they have asked? Now, profit realized means, hey, shall I take this? This is only profit realized. No? Okay. Let's find out. Guys, your profit is an outcome of sales, right? So quantity sold will give you profit. Am I right? Quantity sold will give you profit. Yes or no? Okay. How do you get quantity sold? Opening stock of finished goods plus quantity manufactured minus closing stock of finished goods gives you quantity sold. Am I right? Opening stock of finished goods plus quantity manufactured minus closing stock should give you quantity sold. Yes? Okay. So if this is applicable for quantity, same thing will be applicable for profit. Profit of opening stock plus current profit minus profit of closing stock must give you profit only, but that profit will be related to quantity sold. Hi, Anna.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go to process 1. Go to process 1 account. Is there any profit in opening stock? No. Is there any profit in closing stock? No. How much is the profit charged by process 2 manager? 13. Oh, sorry. How much is the profit charged by process 1 manager? 13,500.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go to process 2. How much is the profit in opening stock? How much is the profit in opening stock?
1,500.
1,500. How much is the profit in closing stock?
750.
And how much is the profit charged by process 2 manager?
22,500.
22,500. Am I right? Now, hey, how much is the profit? Go to finished stock account. How much is the profit in opening stock? 8250. How much is the profit in closing stock? 3675. And how much is the profit of GP of finished stock account? Gross profit 16,250. Now take the total. बोलो 9750 is your profit included in opening stock.
52,250.
Huh?
No, 52,250.
52,250, and this is
4,450.
4425. So add your first two figures, subtract your closing stock, you will get profit due to quantity sold. How much are you getting?
57,420.
Do it once again. 57,575. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, this is your profit due to quantity sold? Guys, didn't I ask you? Shall we take this? Any profit realized due to sales is your profit realized. Any profit realized due to sales is your profit realized. It is that simple. Are you getting it? So you can write it down if you want. Actually, you can directly write answer in the exam, but currently you should know how to get profit realized. So profit is an outcome of sales. So this is how your profit is realized. Have you realized? Profit realized is always due to quantity sold. Done?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. So that is your profit realized. In the examination, you simply can write profit realized is equal to 57,575. There is no need to explain anything. As a student, you should know this, how to generate the answer. And finally, they have asked us stock valuation for balance sheet purpose. And in costing, stock is always valued at cost. You know that. In cost sheet, stock is always valued at cost in costing. Cost or market price, whichever is less, is done in finance, not in costing. Are you getting me? So, stock valuation for balance sheet purpose. Tell me who's going to prepare the balance sheet? Process managers or company? Who's going to prepare the balance sheet? Process managers or company? It's company. So we don't need cost for the process. We need cost for the company. Cost for the manufacturer. So your stock valuation has to be at cost. Which stock do you show in the balance sheet? Opening or closing? Closing. So see your first process account. In your first process account, how much is your closing stock? 3,700. It does not have any profit. So I will write it like this. But in the second, 4,500 में 750 का प्रॉफिट इन्वॉल्व है. कंपनी के लिए कॉस्ट कितनी है? 3,750. So we'll have to write that. And finished stock में, even if the value of the stock is 11,250, cost for the company is 7,575. So we have to write that only. So balance sheet will be prepared by the company. So we need cost for the company. I hope this is clear. Balance sheet is prepared by the company, and that is why we need cost for the company.